Today Baba says that we can have a golden spoon in mouth. We can be born as, kings in the world of heaven just by virtue of this study. Baba tells us there are two methods to have a golden spoon in mouth. So, from the Copper Age, the method is when you donate. So, from the Copper Age, people who donate, they are born as kings or rich people. They are born into wealthy families. So, because they donated wealth, they get wealth. So, that is the law. From Copper Age, you give something in one birth, you receive it in the other. And you receive as much as you give. And you receive what you give. So, from the Copper Age, it's not about unlimited fortune. It's the fortune of one birth created in the last birth. So that is the law in Copper Age, and it continues in the Iron Age also. Now you see, in the Copper Age and Iron Age, we use this language. When somebody is very wealthy, we say they must have donated a lot in the last birth. Or somebody is very miserable, then also you say, I don't know what karma they did in the last birth. Because you see, from the Copper Age, this thing about as you sow, so shall you reap continues. And whatever you do, you receive accordingly. Now, we have to understand what happens from the Copper Age. So, when we are in Golden Age and Silver Age, we are pretty full as a soul. So, in the Golden Age, I am 100% full, and in the Silver Age also, I, the soul, am almost 80% or 90% full. But when we come to the Copper Age, we are 50% empty, 50% full. So the Copper Age is called Art Kala. So half our degrees have declined. So we are half full and half empty. And then what happens is, when we are half full and half empty, then the vices enter. Just like when the light reduces, darkness enters. Similarly, when the virtues are half, then half the space in the soul is filled with vices. Now, when the vices enter the soul, then what happens is, you see, when you're vicious, then whatever you do is vikarma. Because when you're vicious, when you have vices inside, then vikarma seems like the right thing to do. Do you understand that? For example, if I have anger, so that anger is inside me, right? But because I have anger, I'm wearing that glass of anger, so I can find an opportunity to get angry in every situation. Yes, because your sanskars are like the glasses through which you are seeing everything. So from the Copper Age, when there are sanskars of vices inside, then you see everything as an opportunity to be vicious. So, for example, if somebody dropped something and it broke, okay, now it broke. What is the situation? That something broke. Now, what is it about you to get angry in that situation? Is your getting angry going to, put it together? That which is broken will get mended because you got angry? No. But you just see everything as an opportunity to get angry, because that's your vice. And if you look at it, you are not sorting or solving or bringing a solution to anything by getting angry. But just because you have this sanskar, you will create your vikarma in every situation. Getting irritated, getting angry, these are all sanskars that we create from copper age. And then, what is the language that sanskars speak? Sanskars speak the language of right and wrong. So, if you notice yourself saying, you will say, yes, I got angry, but tell me what was wrong about it. So, I got angry for the right reason. And then we talk about righteous anger. But the thing is, anger itself is wrong. There is nothing like right anger. But then this is how you justify your sanskars. And this is how we constantly create vikarma since the copper age. Now, anybody who has ego, what is the language they speak? They will always try to put the other person down, insult. Yes, anybody, somebody made a mistake, somebody did something wrong, you think that is your right to insult somebody. And that is your ego. Somebody making a mistake, they are the creator of their own destiny. They made a mistake, so why do you think you have a right to get insulted because they made a mistake? Either you have the right to insult because they made a mistake. And whenever you are in that position of power, you think that insulting is your right if somebody did not do as you thought they should do. And if you think they made a mistake, then it is your right to insult them. This is the way in which we create our vikarma. So when you insult somebody, what you're doing is giving sorrow. And when you give sorrow, that is pap karma. But you do all of this pap karma and keep saying that, yes, I insulted, but tell me what's wrong about it. I called somebody who is careless, careless. What's wrong about it? They are careless. I called somebody who is late, late. I called somebody who is slow, slow. Yes? So you would pass a comment that you're just slow. And then that is a comment you made. And then you are not trying to, so when you label somebody according to who they are or what they do, then you think it's the right thing to do. But who is saying that that's the right thing to do? It's your ego. So everybody is different. and everybody has different ways of doing things. And if you want somebody to do something like you, then the only method to make them, like you is give them company and influence them with your virtues. So, when you are in their company and so when you are in somebody's company, then our virtues rub on each other. Have you seen that? Vices and virtues rub off on each other. So if you want somebody to do better, insulting them, labeling them, calling them names is not going to help. And on the contrary, it is going to finish their self-esteem. And it is going to make them have self-doubt. And then they would be, even more incompetent than they are today. But instead of understanding this, what we do is we keep constantly insulting, labeling, calling out names, and we think that that is how we improve somebody. But Baba says that's just your ego speaking. And what is the method to improve somebody really? Give them company and influence them with your vices, with your virtues. So if you can influence somebody with your virtues, they will become virtuous. So have you noticed it about yourself that when you see somebody virtuous, when you are in the company of somebody who's virtuous, you also start adopting their virtues, don't you? Same with vices also. And that is the way to change somebody, not by tagging, labeling, insulting. But then ego will tell you that's the only method to do things. And although it has never yielded any result, but we will keep doing that. So Baba says that from the copper age, we are vicious, and there are primarily 5 vices: lust, anger, ego, attachment, greed. How does the vice of greed speak? So, when somebody once told me that if I don't take a bribe, somebody else will. So why shouldn't I? And greed will always tell you that, everybody is, so greed will tell you what is wrong with crossing boundaries, what is wrong with, crossing lines and getting something. So, because if I don't cross the line, somebody else will. And then that thing will belong to that person. So, let me have it. But if you cross the line, you will suffer. If somebody else crosses the line, they will suffer. But greed makes you think like this, that if I don't cross the line, somebody else will. So, let me do it and let me have it. So, Baba says that this is how, these belief systems, there are various methods, there are various ways in which the intellect starts being corroded by, Ravan Mat, the dictates of Ravan. And then we start doing vikarma under the influence of vices. And when we do vikarma, then what we get is karmic bondage. Yes, and we come into bondage. And bondage means you are a slave and you suffer. Yes, so your body, your mind, your wealth, your relationships, they don't behave according to you. In Satyug and Treta Yug, everything behaves according to us. Do you know that? Yes, we are the masters. We are not the slaves, we are the masters in Satyug. Even the air, even the wind will ask you which direction to flow in. The 5 elements will also be obedient to you. But then once we start doing vikarma, then everything around us, it starts just behaving, just behaving the opposite of what we wish for it to behave like. So the body, mind, wealth, relationships, nothing obeys you anymore. We are in bondage of them. You have to listen to the body. You have to listen to the mind. You have to listen to the relationships. You have to listen to the money. The money decides what you will buy. You don't decide where you will spend the money. Yes, so this is how we change from masters to those who are in bondage. And Baba says, even in that scenario, souls are born with golden spoon in mouth. So souls are born as kings, and souls are born to rich, wealthy people. Why? Because they donate. So donation is the only method at that time. Because other than donation, every karma has almost become vikarma. So the only good karma is building temples, donating. So that karma at least gives some wealth in the next birth. But now Baba tells us that here you have the opportunity to have unlimited golden spoon in mouth. So for 21 births, you can have not just wealth, but health, wealth, happiness, prosperity, everything. Good relationships, everything. And how? So the first thing that Baba tells us to do is be soul conscious. So Baba says, with study you can become this. So by studying in Sangam Yuga, you can have the golden spoon in mouth in an unlimited way for 21 births. Now what is study in Sangam Yuga? So our study has 4 subjects: knowledge, yoga, inculcation of divine virtues, and seva. These are the 4 subjects of our study. So first thing is knowledge. Now what do you do with knowledge? So knowledge has to be heard. So you listen to knowledge, you churn over knowledge, and you become an embodiment of knowledge. Have you heard this phrase, embodiment of knowledge? So your actions reflect your knowledgeful state. That is called being an embodiment of knowledge. So Baba says, in this study, the first subject is knowledge. And I give you the knowledge of primarily 3 things: the soul, Baba, and drama. Now Baba says the first knowledge of the soul, by having that knowledge you have to become soul conscious. Now what is soul consciousness? Soul consciousness tells you that I am a soul and my relationship with the body is like the relationship of a car with a driver. So I am the driver and this is just the car. And when you understand the knowledge of the soul, you understand that you are doing everything through the body. Yes, so it is not outside in, it is inside out. So it is the soul doing everything through the body. it's not that your circumstances or your physical state or your professional state or your state of relationships, they are not responsible for your actions. It is not outside in. Do you understand this much? Because we intellectually understand, but we don't understand. So we understand, so this has to be internalized, that I am a soul and I am doing everything through the body. My physical, my professional, or my social, or my family circumstances don't matter. They are not the ones dictating how I would behave, because I the soul, am the master of my mind, intellect and sanskar. And my karma begins with my thought. I think. So I can choose my thought and I can choose my action independent of my physical, financial, social, professional context. So when you become soul conscious and you understand that my thought is my choice, my creation, and my thought creates my destiny. Yes, I have given you that whole chain: thought, feeling, attitude, action, habit, personality, relationships and destiny. So my thought creates my destiny and I am the master of my mind. I create my thought. And my thought has got nothing to do with the circumstances. So people, when we are body conscious, we speak this language that if my circumstances are such, then how can I think otherwise? Yes, because yesterday only somebody was telling me that if nobody in the family appreciates my efforts, then how can I feel validated or how can I feel appreciated? So I told that lady that you just create a thought, I am appreciated. So just know that Baba appreciates you. I am appreciated by the Almighty. So then whether somebody appreciates you or rejects you or criticizes you, how does that stop you from creating a thought, I am worthy, I am appreciated? Because your thought is your creation, your feeling is your creation. It has got nothing to do with external circumstances. But when we live for 63 births in the body conscious world, we are trained to believe that I cannot think and feel opposite of my circumstances. But actually, your thought and feeling has got nothing to do with your circumstances. Your thought and feeling is a very internal thing. And when you create that, then your thought and feeling will create your destiny. So Baba says, churn over this, Sit and think about the fact that I am a soul and I am creating my thought every second. And just because I believe that this thought is connected with the external world, or there is a natural dependence between my thought and the external world, that is why I am creating negative and waste thoughts. So let me just know for a fact that my thought and feeling is my creation and it has got nothing to do with the external world. And I create a thought as I am. I am a peaceful, loveful, joyful soul. I am the child of the ocean of peace, love, joy. Let me create a thought that resonates who I am and create a destiny likewise. And Baba says that this is soul consciousness. This is being independent. So, today Baba also uses a very interesting word, independent effort. And independent effort, for independent effort, you need to know that you are an independent soul. First thing you have to know is you are an independent soul, because in the body conscious world, we are always thinking about ourselves as a part of a group. Yes, I am a part of a whole, I am not the whole. Right? I always think about myself as, people say we are a couple, so then you are a half part of the couple, or we are a family, so that has 5 members, so you are 1/5. And then you are you are an employee, so you are 100 employees in the family, so you are 1%. So no, you are not 1%, you are not 1/5, you are not half, you are the whole. And you have to know that I am not like this with anybody. I am very independent. I can choose my own thought and feeling as I like, as I want. And the other ones that I relate to, they will benefit more by me being independent than me being thinking that I am part of them. Because when we think about ourselves as a part of someone or some group, then what happens is you are pulling each other down because of that consciousness. So once you start thinking about yourself as an independent soul, then you know that your eternal connection is with the Almighty Himself. And then you draw power from Baba, and then you are able to bring benefit to the other members of that which you considered yourself to be a part of earlier. So Baba says that this soul consciousness has to be practiced, and while living in the family, while living in the household, you have to create a very mature and powerful state. And that powerful state will be created only when you consider yourself to be an independent soul. A soul is independent from the body also. And a soul is a creator. So you have to churn on this and internalize this. Then the second aspect of knowledge is the knowledge of Baba. And knowing Baba, so first thing very powerful is knowing Baba. When you know Baba, that Baba exists. And who is Baba? A small point of light who contains an ocean of peace, ocean of love, ocean of joy within itself. And that one is absolutely stable, Sadashiv. Never changes from that state of being the ocean of peace, ocean of love, ocean of joy. Just knowing Baba and thinking about Baba makes you have so much faith in the possibility that it is possible to be like this. So, everybody says that you should be peaceful, you should be joyful, you should be loveful. But then we have no reference point absolutely in the world for somebody who is absolutely peaceful, loveful and joyful. We have reference points for those who are relatively peaceful, loveful and joyful, but not absolutely. So, there are people who are happy and peaceful and loveful, but not always. And here Baba is that one who is constantly the ocean of love, peace and joy. And just knowing Baba, and then second thing, knowing that I am Baba's child, made in his image, and I have the same qualities as Baba. So, Bhakti had made us believe that God is very high and mighty and we are nobody. But then Baba says, no, you are my child and you are made in my image and you are exactly like me. You have the same qualities as me. And once you know Baba, knowing Baba makes you have Buddhi Yoga with Baba. A child doesn't need to be taught to remember the father. Does a child ever need to be taught to remember the father? Who taught you to remember your Lokik parents? Nobody. The child needs to know this is my parent and I am the child. So once you know that I am the child and this is my parent, then you have Buddhi Yoga with your parent. You think about Baba. And when you think about Baba, then Baba starts coloring you, Baba starts purifying you. In that relationship, you have all attainments. So just knowing Baba as he is and knowing my relationship with Baba makes me have yoga with the Almighty and makes me benefit from all attainments. And when you get up at Amrit Vela, just know that you are a soul and you are the child of the ocean of peace. And just sit in that awareness and you will become so peaceful that nothing in the day will be able to disturb you. So Baba says, just know me as I am and know that you are my child, you are just like me, and have your heart-to-heart connection with me. Just remember me with love and I will fill you with all qualities. So just think about how much this study, the study of the soul, the knowledge of the soul, the knowledge of Baba helps. And then the yoga, second subject of study is yoga. So yoga can burn your sins. Yoga can make you, so what happens when we commit sin? So when we commit sin, we create sinful sanskars. And when we draw virtues from Baba, those sinful sanskars get merged and the virtues from Baba get emerged. So that is called burning the sins. Because your virtues, when they are more powerful than your sinful sanskars, then any situation cannot trigger your vices. And then you will not be acting viciously despite all the various difficult situations coming in front of you. You will not react, you will not create vikarma. That is called burning the sins. And Baba says that this study is so powerful. And then the third point of study is knowing your beginning, middle and end. Did you ever in your wildest imagination think that you were a deity? So just thinking about yourself as a deity, an erstwhile deity and a would-be deity. So I am a deity that was and I am a deity that will be. So this also emerges in you all the latent deity sanskars. So Baba says this study is the method, is the formula or the way to have a golden spoon in mouth. And then the third subject is having divine virtues. We never thought about divine virtues. Did we think about being cheerful all the time or being respectful all the time or being, or having soul conscious vision all the time? So when you know about Satyug, then you know what deity qualities are, and then you can imbibe it here. So just imagine you go to a temple, and then there is a sound in the temple and the deity starts looking here and there, very disturbed. And then there is somebody crying in front of the deity, and the deity also starts getting emotional. And then there's somebody laughing and the deity starts laughing with them. Then that is not deity like, right? But we never thought that these are the qualities that I want to have, of stability, of not being reactive, of being cheerful always, of not getting emotional but having a very calm and cheerful demeanor always. And how do you create these? You need patience, forgiveness, you need tolerance, you need a lot of virtues to arrive at that state. So Baba says now the third subject is understanding what virtues a deity would have and how you would arrive at those virtues and imbibing those virtues. And then seva. So you see, in the whole world there is a lot of importance given to seva. But the seva that people do for other people gives them temporary happiness. And you know, temporary happiness is equal to long-term sorrow. Because you know, when you get temporary happiness, the expectation that you would continuously get that happiness from someone increases. And then the more is the expectation, the more is the sorrow. So people think that giving temporary happiness by giving food, medicine, shelter, anything to anybody is punya karma. But no, if you are giving them somebody instead of teaching them, instead of enabling them to fend for themselves, so once a soul realizes its powers, its virtues, they become capable. And if you are not making them capable but making them dependent, then that's not punya karma. So Baba says that the only way to make somebody capable is by giving them the knowledge and introduction of Baba and Baba's Gyan. So Baba says these are the four things: knowledge, yoga, divine virtues and seva. This can make you the king of kings for 21 births. So golden spoon on mouth can be got just through study. And Baba says if you did that, then you will not just have one birth of happiness or one birth of just wealth, but health, wealth, happiness and prosperity, everything for 21 births. Okay, Om Shanti.